And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda Maser for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket. Talking Maser for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket. Talking Maser for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket.
That's right. Welcome to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. As you can see, I am he. And we are back for another week of talking with our panel and just seeing how y'all are doing. Happy New Year. Merry New Year. I'm doing okay, a little bit under the weather, but yet here I am anyway. A lot of good things to talk about today. Just want to thank everybody that's tuning in. You may be tuning in from YouTube, LinkedIn, or even Facebook. And also to continue to let everybody know, Empower TV Network is on YouTube as well as Roku. And we are also now streaming on Fire TV. So if you got those Amazon Fire TV sticks, guess what? Now you can find us there. I got to figure out how you can find it, but I know it's on there because some people have already found us. So I'm still trying to figure it out myself, but we have expanded our viewership or potential viewership to over 75 million Amazon Fire TV users, in addition to the 75 million plus Roku users that are out there as well. We do this show every Thursday, 6 p.m. live. So your comments are important to us. So if you have a comment about something we're talking about, a question you want to ask somebody in the panel, please use that comment button and we'll read those comments live on the air. If you would like to be a panelist, please send me an email or a direct message, theparkermedia@gmail.com or on our Facebook page. Either way, we will get back to you. Agreement is not necessary since I'm always right anyway. Just kidding, but not really. Anyway, without further ado, let's bring our panelists on. We've got two of the three that I know are coming in. There's one that's running about 20 minutes late, he said. And that would be the franchise. So when he makes it on, we will definitely bring him in as well. But let's say hello to Mr. Elephant / Cowboy, Mr. CJ Jones.
Huh? Happy Merry New Year, guys. How are you?
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year. Just like yourself. We've been dealing with some cough situations for some reason. But anyway, I just say it like this. Didn't know what it was. I'm just not 6 feet under. That's what I do know.
That's the most important part.
Vaccinated. Huh?
That's the most important part.
Yeah, exactly. So quick shout out to my Cowboys. They greatly exceeded my expectation. I remember at the beginning of the football season, we kind of had our little banter going, and I claimed 12 games. You clowned me. You and the rest of the panel. Yeah, you did. And you said, ain't no way Cowboys ain't gonna get no 12. They might get 8, but they ain't gonna get no 12.
Oh, no. All right. That was the year before. I don't believe that was last year. This year I claimed 12.
No, sir. No, sir. That was this year. It's recorded.
Well, it couldn't be. I'll go back, but the only reason, that it couldn't be
12.
The only reason that could not be. Only reason that could not be is because I.
So yeah. So everything that I see after this is just a cherry on top. I don't care.
The only reason that can't be true for this past season is because I claimed that they would win the NFC East, and there was no way in the world that they could win the East with 8 wins.
Now I agree on. You can't win the division with just.
I mean they did the year before, but knowing that.
Wow.
Yeah, they did it before.
I don't know what the heck our division was doing, but that was horrifying.
Right. So I figured the division, as bad as they would probably still be, would not allow the Cowboys to win the division with 8 wins this year. So no, I was in the mindset that because of their schedule, and when I mean their schedule, when you have a division, you play your division more than you play anybody else. So you play the Giants twice a year. You play Philadelphia twice a year. You play the Washington football team twice a year.
They red.
Nah, they're gonna get a new name in about half a month. But so out of your 17 games, 6 of them are against your divisional rivals. Right. So I already counted most of those as W's anyway. So that's 6 of the wins right there that I already accounted for them. So I figured they win all the division games, and they did. They swept the division.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and that's why I'm proud of them.
Congratulations to them. They
so
have
I don't care.
Game.
Like everybody's saying that we're the underdogs coming in. I don't care. I don't care. We can be the underdogs.
Listen. Let me go ahead and bust the bubble. If you're a Cowboy fan and you're saying you're underdog, you're just trying to find an excuse so when you lose, you have that excuse.
No, sir. You're talking to one.
No, let me tell you why. Because you are a 3-point favorite going into the game. Here's the problem with that. When you're the home team and you get 3 points, Vegas don't really have a lot of confidence in you because you're supposed to have home field advantage. 3 points.
Yeah, supposed to.
Yeah, so the fact that they only giving them 3 means Vegas even sees that as a toss-up game. But technically speaking, you are favored. So you're not the underdog.
All that's just football jargon. But I get what you're saying.
Jargon. You ain't no underdog. Y'all just want to feel like the underdog.
No, we are. We are, and we always have
2 reasons. When you lose, you blame Mike McCarthy. If you win, then you can act like you just won the championship, like y'all do every time y'all win a game.
Hold on. Who you say we blame?
The 49ers.
No. You say if we lose, who we blame?
If you lose,
you said we will blame Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. You don't have Jason Garrett no more. If you had him, you blame him or Jerry Jones. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Part of the reason that you may lose could be because of Mike McCarthy. I'm not gonna say that's not true. Let's bring in our next panelist, Mr. Brad Carlton. How you doing,
Brad? Hey, how we doing?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How's everybody doing? Good to see y'all.
Man, good. I know my wife is probably just looking to give me that look. She like, y'all talking about football. Hey, look, football is going on low. Georgia just beat Alabama in the national championship game on Monday. Let's give it up for them Bulldogs down there in Athens, Georgia, for knocking out Nick Saban.
Bro, that was a hell of a game.
Wasn't it? That was amazing. I believe the last time they won, Herschel Walker wasn't asked to comment about missed vaccines and stuff like that.
Oh, Lord. We only
like, bro, could you please stop making us look bad? Could you please stop making us look bad? Don't talk, Herschel.
Please
don't talk.
I haven't heard anything he said recently, but I know he did some real right-wing stuff recently.
Well, I mean, yeah. They were asking him about voting rights, and he was talking about how the John Lewis Voting Rights Act for Senator John Lewis, never been a senator before, but how Senator John Lewis would not support that kind of act because it goes against everything that he stood for. This fool said that. The John Lewis Voting Act is a piece of legislation that goes totally against everything John Lewis stood for, even though his whole career he spent for voting rights, even to the point of getting cracked in the head on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. But that's against everything that he stood for. But it kind of goes in line. Donald Trump has endorsed them, so that kind of makes sense. Fool recognize fool. That's all I can say. That's crazy. And last but not least, let's say hello. For right now, the franchise is on its way. He's running a little late. To the one, the only Miss Lori Parker. How you doing, Lori?
Doing very well, thank you. And I understand it's football season and I football talk. I just wanted to get to the topics at hand, just to make sure we have time.
Well,
But
we will make time, but when we sitting there talking about them Cowboys and how they gonna be one and done again, that's worth talking about.
We will see.
One point of clarification before we move on. It's no longer football season. So our teams are playing this weekend. Football season was last week when Brian's team was.
Oh,
I'm sorry, my bad. It's basketball season.
That's what we like to
Excuse
call
me.
cancel culture.
Excuse me, it's basketball season.
Football season ain't
I
done.
thought he was going to say
Football
basketball.
season
Lord,
ain't
I'm
done to
with
the
you.
Super Bowl.
I thought
There's
at
gonna be
first
room on that couch.
I was leaning in.
Listen, you should be having your Knicks up on your screen, Brad. Not the Rams.
That's true. That's true.
You should be rocking blue and orange.
But the Rams are in the playoffs. I got to tell you.
But see, listen. Here's why it's still football season for me. My team sucks, and they don't have any prospects anytime soon. I can accept that. But overall, I'm a football fan. So I'm a fan to see what happens going through. I thought Week 18 was by far one of the best weeks I've ever seen, with so many games still determining playoff positions, all the way up to if the Chargers hadn't called that stupid timeout and that game went to a tie, Pittsburgh wouldn't be in the playoffs. So just hanging on those little things, Pittsburgh gets in because they have a tie with Detroit that kept them alive. Ties are normally a kiss of death for you, but that was the only reason that they had a chance. And they were still depending on a field goal being made to go into the playoffs and extend Big Ben's last year as an NFL player. So a lot of drama unfolded. All Indianapolis had to do was beat lowly Jacksonville to get in the playoffs, and they come in and stink it up and lose. All those kind of cliffhangers were just crazy when it came to seeding. So Week 18 was just fabulous. So hopefully the playoffs will be good. We got 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, 1 game on Monday.
A lot of football, baby.
Can't wait to see,
man. A lot of
man.
football.
It's going to be great. So, Lori, that's just letting you know that we need to call Hooters, get some wings up in here. Or I could go to Hooters and pick them up, but might not come back right away.
Listen, if you want to go to Hooters and get your wings, I can make wings. It's fine.
No.
You don't need to get my wings.
Hooters makes very special. Hooters makes very special wings. And I have to go there. I have to go there and pick them up.
That's fine, and you can go and stay there.
I mean, threaten me with something, like a threat. Oh no, not Hooters. I mean, you act like it's like a BBW bar or something. Stop it. Oh, Anyway, I digress. So Lori wants me to get to the topics of the day. So one of the topics that I was sitting there looking at, well, before I get to that main topic, how's everybody doing? Everybody healthy? I know COVID's crazy right now. Omicron is a transformer that is now a COVID variant, or as Black folk like to mess up names, they calling it a Marion. So poor Marion ain't never gonna have another record because they done called him the variant.
Oh yeah,
he gonna have to change his name because they done messed up.
Here come the word puns.
Yeah, y'all got that Omarion?
That Omarion?
Yeah, my throat scratching. I think it's that Omarion. I'm gonna have to do a whole show on how Black folk done messed up everything. I got the sugar. Sugar is not a medical term. I got the gout, so
that's gonna be a 4-hour show.
Or you got that old timers? What is old timers?
All the timers. All the timers. You know you got that all the timers.
Yeah, he got the Alzheimer's. He don't remember stuff like he used to. He got Alzheimer's. Like, what? That's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Every now and again. Isn't that all the time?
Yeah.
If everything is every now and then, isn't that all the time?
Maybe I underestimated Herschel Walker. Maybe that's where he was getting it from.
He suffered from that all the timers. That's
all the time. So Omicron is doing his thing out there, and I'm just gonna say this off the top. We don't have to go into it too deep, but what we're starting to find out is what people are hearing is that Omicron is a lot milder than Delta and even COVID 1.0. And it's giving people a false sense of security that they can be a little bit more lax because, hey, even if I get it, it probably ain't gonna kill me. Well, the thing is that if you're vaccinated, that may be true. If you're unvaccinated, you still have a higher chance of having to be hospitalized. Will it kill you?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Will you have to go to the hospital? Yes, possibly. And the reason that that's an issue is because hospitals are being asked to take your ignorant tail in and turn people away that are having life-threatening issues because they don't have room for them.
Right.
People are now dying as a result of hospitals not being able to take them in. There's actual evidence of that now, where people have had to go to 4, 5, 6, 7 different places looking for hospital beds to get turned away. I'm thinking of one in particular. A man in Iowa had sepsis, highly treatable, but because it lingered on, because he kept looking for it, he died in the process.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. We've had vaccines for a year. I understand that there was hesitance among taking a vaccine. I get that. It's your right. If you don't want to take it, don't take it. But here's my plea to you. If you are watching this and you are unvaccinated, understand this. I want everyone to have a healthy, long life. Live as long as Betty White, if you can. God rest her soul.
You know.
However, if you are now at this point where you're talking about your freedoms and you need that freedom to not be vaccinated, this is what I need you to do for me when you get COVID. I need you to listen to this clearly because it's coming from a very special place in my heart. I mean it. My words are very, very carefully chosen when I say this to you with all love and respect. Stay your ass at home. Don't go to the hospital. Don't call 911. Don't get in no ambulance. Don't lock up the ER. Don't take away beds from people like my mom, who's a senior that may one day have to go to the hospital for a legitimate reason and can't get in there because your ass want freedom so bad not to take a jab.
Right.
Don't go to the hospital. Sit at home and let your freedom figure it out. I mean that with all my
Amen, bro. Amen. And the staff over here, this needs to be said. Backs that up, second it, stamp it, and everything else. I feel the exact same way.
I mean, at some point in time, you know, you got to stop trying to force people to do stuff they don't want to do, argue with them. We done explain to them. You know, I tried to explain it even last week, and it was funny. I heard somebody on Fox News, of all places, Steve Ducey, say exactly what I said. Now, I don't know if Steve watches the show, but he used my example perfectly when he said, guys, the vaccine is not a cure. It's like having on a bulletproof vest.
Right.
The vest doesn't stop the bullet from hitting you. It stops it from killing you.
Killing you. You still gonna have broken ribs.
That's all a vaccine is. That's all a vaccine has ever been. So when I hear these fools say, hey, vaccinated people are still getting infected, you're an idiot. It never was meant to keep you from being infected. It was meant to keep you from being hospitalized and dying from it, which is what it's doing. When the overall evidence is pointing to the fact that the majority of people that catch COVID, hospitalized, and die from it are those that are unvaccinated. So all these people that are saying I'm still doing my research are the same people that when you ask them about their relationship with God is, they say, well, I'm just trying to work on my own salvation. That's just that which is a bunch of mess. Why are you doing your own research when there's all this irrefutable evidence out there? What research are you doing? And if you was that damn good of a student, why you ain't go to college? I'm sorry. But now everybody want to be a good student and do their research. You didn't even do your research in school.
Exactly.
Now you want to do your research on TikTok and YouTube. Stop it.
Right.
You got a PhD in the background and to say TikTok and YouTube on it. Stop it.
Right. In other words, bro, you just a scary person. You remember,
Yeah.
like back in the day, we used to, back in the day, we used to say, "Look, if you're scared, just say you're scared."
Thank you.
Okay.
You ain't gotta make up no reasons. Now you sound
You
like
scared,
a Cowboy
bro.
fan.
That's-
Yeah, just
it's
say
okay.
it. Say you're scared.
Keep on.
Say you
Keep
say
on,
you don't
Brian.
know if
And
you
you know
win.
what? I love this.
We
You know
almost
what?
missed
I
that
love
one.
it
It almost
because-
went right over his head.
Listen, the more shots you take, the more shots you take, just makes that victory just a bit of more sweet.
Listen. I'm
When you
prepared
get
either
to
way.
eat-
I
When
really
you
am.
get to
I'm
eat
prepared
all
either way.
that pie, that you all that pie, just so bring it.
I'll never have to
I
do it.
love it. I love it.
We had
I
a
love
comment from a man, Anthony. Anthony, thanks for watching, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope family is okay. And by the way, he's a Washington football fan. It's crazy how it's nothing for kids under 5 years old. My daughter is 3. She's in school, and I might keep her home soon. It's crazy how it's nothing for kids. There's nothing out there. Yeah, they're working on it, Anthony.
Yeah, they're working on it.
They are working on it, and they're getting pretty close. But you're right, because at first, if you listen to certain pundits, kids can't get it, kids can't transmit it, kids can't die from it. Well, that might have been true at one point. To an extent, it wasn't that they couldn't get it; they definitely could transmit it. It just wasn't putting them in the hospital at that rate. But with anything, if you let it live long enough, kind of like my ex-wife, it'll mutate. And it'll become worse than it originally was. Damn, that does sound. It'll become worse than it originally was. I got a great name for the next variant.
Lori, you got a flag.
And what is that name, Mr. Parker? What is the next name that you want for the next variant?
I'll do that on the after show. I really will. It's
Brad,
not Lori. Come on now. It's not
Brad,
Lori.
you got a flag.
Is it an
bro?
acronym?
We need a
No,
flag
you're not an ex-wife yet. You're not an ex-wife yet, but keep on.
I'm not planning to be no ex-wife.
Well, none of the other ones did either. Brian Flores didn't expect to get fired on Monday neither. So things happen.
Lori, we will give you the knife. We will give you the knife.
Lori,
he doesn't understand.
Lori, you only about a 20-minute drive from me.
I am stuck.
I got you.
I'm stuck with it.
That's what I'm
saying.
And
I'm gonna stay with him
20
forever.
20 minutes.
Ever.
Look, you got a sister back here that got your back. Just a 20-minute drive.
Listen, I got places to stay. If
we got you with weapons, we got you with alibis, we got you with travel money. We got you.
I got people.
All we gonna do is say, "Is it done?
Is it right?"
No, I'm just gonna say,
listen,
the banana flew the
y'all
coop.
better not.
There we go.
I better not be featured on investigation Discovery channels or none of that.
That's right.
Where they be playing all that. They be playing all that
Snap.
dreary music and stuff like that.
You're gonna be on Snap, and you know what?
What made Lori snap so much?
And when they talk about it, they're gonna say this man, Brian Parker, and they're gonna show the purple suit. They're gonna show the purple suit. I am he.
I'm sorry, Lori. I'm sorry. You know how I get. But anyway, that was my public service announcement for all you COVID, you selfish sons of what's taking up hospital beds and letting people that get regular illnesses that they didn't plan on that just happen not have a place to go. This is serious.
Yeah.
Ella O'Brien gonna be on the next 48. Anthony, you never know, bro. Look out for me, Anthony. If they haven't solved it within the first 48, you know who did it now. So I want you to pull this tape for me, Anthony, because you see these other two on here ain't gonna do it. So I need you to help me out, bro. They're not gonna do it. I need you to pull the tape and know.
I expose elephants all the time. I expose elephants all the time, my brother.
Yeah. I can already see how this is gonna shape out. So yeah, Anthony, I need you to be there for me, bro. I appreciate it. But yeah, that was again, the public service announcement, because like I said, I want everyone to be well and do well. But it reminds me of that whole thing that, hey, if we're giving you the tools, why do you constantly keep trying to find other reasons not to take the vaccine? Oh, I don't want to take the vaccine, but I'll take some horse medicine. Oh, I won't take the vaccine, but I'll try to find out this mist that Herschel Walker says I can work through that'll get rid of the vid just like that.
Because people love the struggle.
So when you got all these different kind of remedies, now I got other people on my Facebook talking about I ain't got vaccinated. I just sit there and drink a bunch of tea and honey and this and that and the other. Listen, if you want to do that, that's fine. But when the vid come calling for you and you get it, please, please, please do what I'm asking you to do from the bottom of my heart. Stay your ass at home. Don't take a hospital bed away from somebody else that needs it, that is dying. Please don't do that, because that could be one of my family members. And if I find out that they passed away simply because the hospital ain't had no beds, because they were taking care of you and your freedom, there's going to be a problem. I'm just saying. So let's welcome along the man of the hour, the man that needs no introduction, the man that is the sole reason that we are now streaming not on Roku, but also on Amazon Fire TV. Get them Fire Sticks hot and ready. The one, the only, the franchise, Mr. Jermaine Parker. How you doing, sir?
I'm acting real Negro-like in this new year, showing up 20 minutes. Didn't miss the first show of the year, and then showed 20 minutes to the second show of the year. So my black card is still valid, I guess.
It is.
It has not been revoked.
It's not
No, bro. There's a long list of people in front of you that are eligible for revocation of their black card. So you good right now. You good.
Okay.
Why you look at me when you say that, Brian?
No, I wasn't. I was actually looking up at Lori. I was looking at my wife.
Again, you know what?
Listen, I normally don't trust people that don't eat grape jelly. So I'm sorry.
Oh.
Wait, who don't eat grape jelly?
Oh.
Grape jelly? Like Welch's grape jelly?
Yeah. You
grapes. I don't like it.
Lori, what went wrong?
You on shaky ground. You are.
What did they do to you, Lori?
We're gonna have to.
They sent in a Catholic school, apparently.
I ate it as a child, but I just don't like it anymore.
But see, I find this out at the wrong time. We in the grocery store trying to shop together, and she's like, "Oh, you want some peanut butter?" I'm like, "Yeah, I need to get some jelly." And she's like, "Which one do you want?" I said, "Go ahead and get that grape jelly over there." She turns to me in a matter-of-fact tone and says, "I don't eat grape jelly." I'm like, okay, I'm assuming that the Negro part of you would say, yes, you do. But she doesn't. But now, see, she don't like grape soda, grape Kool-Aid, a grape knee-high. Look at Brad. He can't even defend you no more. Brad was wanting to straight Johnny Cochran you, and he about to sit there and recuse himself right now. He's like, I'm out, Lori. He says, good luck.
They had to tell him the other stuff I don't eat or anything else that has been revoked.
Lori, that was the main thing. I honestly was this close to calling my divorce lawyer. I almost ain't gonna lie to you. Once I found out you ain't eating no grape jelly, baby. We was about
Lori,
to.
how do you feel about strawberry?
I ain't gonna lie. Lori, I parted ways with women for less. So grape jelly.
How do you feel about strawberry, baby girl?
I
love strawberry jam.
She loves jam,
apricot,
desserts.
Okay.
So the last funny thing that got me is that any black person, you go to their refrigerator, if they ain't got nothing in their refrigerator, they got some Arm & Hammer and they got some French's mustard. So I'm trying to make myself a sandwich, and I'm trying to hook up my sandwich. I got my mayonnaise, and I'm looking for the mustard. And I said, Lord, where's the mustard? Lori literally says to me,
I have Grey Poupon.
Yes. I said mustard, like French's. She had some Dijon Grey Poupon.
You ain't got no French's? You ain't got no French's?
She ain't had no, bro. She didn't have no French's in the refrigerator.
Okay.
Or no baking soda.
Yes, I had some baking soda. Stop it. It was in the freezer.
Okay. No, Lori. It's got to be in the refrigerator.
Oh God.
It's in both places. It was in the back. You wasn't looking.
Yashika said, I don't eat grape jelly either, Lori. See, Yashika, I knew there was something wrong with you. I love this.
You couldn't put your finger on it.
I don't trust nobody that don't
But
eat
you knew
grape
something
jelly.
wasn't right.
Anthony says you don't like grape jelly for the taste.
Where are y'all from?
Right. So it was funny. Anthony says you don't like grape jelly for the taste or the color.
I just don't like grape jelly. I used to
She's
eat
racial,
it all the
man.
time
She's
as a
racial
child.
with
And I
it.
just don't like it.
She's racial.
Yeah, it is.
She said there's nothing wrong with me.
Or
There's
Lori.
nothing wrong with me. Listen,
I don't know.
I got you. I got you,
Put-
Brian.
Put Kenny
And you
on.
can sit here and talk about my
put
mustard
Kenny on
and everything
and
else, but
walk
I got
away
you with
so I
all
can
my
ask
cooking.
Kenny
So
directly.
stop it.
There you go.
Stop
I
it.
think there's something wrong. But anyway, but yeah, so Lori may lose her black card, and now Yashika may lose her black card before.
Yashika is not going to lose her black card. We together.
Y'all are not together. Don't hook yourself to Yashika. Anyway, I'm planning on having Yashika and Julia on at some point to talk about their great staffing business that they do as well. And maybe we can even cut a commercial so that they can do some advertisement on our channel, since we're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV. Bam! One of the topics I wanted to get into was the whole Jussie Smollett verdict that came out. It was a recommendation from Marvis, and it was a good take because Jussie Smollett, everybody remembers, I think it was going on 2 years ago now, alleged that he had gotten assaulted, 2 o'clock in the morning, very cold night, 2 guys, and it all comes out he knew the 2 guys. He paid the 2 guys to beat him up, all of alleged just to get a little bit more fame or whatever. Right. And he was actually found, he was convicted on 5 counts of disorderly conduct, which is a class 4 felony in the state of Illinois. He will be sentenced pretty soon. But the concern that I have when people do this is, what does that do for those that are real victims of hate crimes that already find it hard for people to believe them? Is what Jussie Smollett, what he's done, does that tarnish actual real victims now? How y'all feel about that?
Absolutely. He definitely put a black eye out there for people that have real situations, just like the abuse of women, the abuse and misuse of children. He just made it harder, and I'm not even going to get into the subcategory in which he lived his lifestyle. So because society as a whole is still judgmental about that. But I mean, he just tripled it, man. And that's my take on it. That's it.
I don't think he did. And this is the reason I don't think he did. Because America doesn't take it seriously from anybody to begin with. You'd actually have to get America interested in taking racial attacks and stuff seriously before you could say that Jussie did something to set us back. Set us back to what? We were already on one.
Well, let me push on that just a little bit, Jermaine. Does that give them more reason to say this is why we don't?
Have you ever not wanted to do something and the slightest thing that came your way, you latched onto it as a reason?
It's like, see?
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean.
And so the thing about that is that sure, right, can they use that as but there's so much
cop out for sure.
There's so much historical data, data depending on which coach you watch this from. There's so much historical data.
That is more educated, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there's so much. Emmett Till. I mean, how many people have been lynched, run down, shot? Arbery, that case, so there's so many things out there saying that it's sort of like your COVID conversation earlier. There's so much evidence saying that it is there, that the only people that don't believe it, like America, they're only not believing it because they don't want to believe it.
So true.
I got slight.
Anyway.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Your Tourette's was coming out.
I get what you're saying, but if you are looking for a one-off situation to justify stuff, think Candace Owens. Where I'm going to take something fractionally. I mean, really, I'm going to take something fractional and I'm going to expand it out over hypotheticals to why I don't believe everything else, even though there's a large example out there for you to believe in the thing that we're trying to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, and then again, I mean, what did he do? He didn't hurt anybody. He beat himself up. I mean, what did he really do?
He cried wolf. He cried wolf. But
I get what you're saying, Jermaine.
Because he's such a public figure, though. Because had he been anybody else, had he been CJ.
Well, but see, CJ, but to your point, CJ, that was the problem. He really wasn't that big of a name. Yeah, people that watched.
But he was on the way. He had a very nice platform. He already had at least 2 major stars to kind of ride off their coattails. He didn't have to do that.
But that was the whole thing. It's the motive. Like, why would you do that when you're up and coming? Why would you do that when, as African American actors, even just in that field, you have to put in so much time? I'm an actor. There's no way I'm on a network television show like that, getting those checks and stuff like that. And even if you're not getting the ones that Terrence Howard and Taraji are getting, you're still there, man. You're around the right people. You just do
exactly.
Your grind. So
there was no need.
That wasn't enough. Apparently.
His own.
Yeah, but that wasn't enough. Apparently.
Think Pam Anderson, and think how many stars Kim Kardashian have put out sex tapes to bolster their career.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, Mimi tried too, and I mean, it was decent. I heard.
But look. What was that noise? But the point is that a lot of people do stuff for attention or what they think might.
Still looking at me.
It might get towards there. I can't. Might bolster their careers and stuff, right? So you and I say there's no need because if we did that, we'd just go straight to jail. But for him, there was a possibility that the support that came from that was going to raise him up to another level of notoriety. And just like whether you're a Instagram model or you're a TikTok star, notoriety, clicks, and views are the name of the game. That's how you go. So like this channel that's now currently on Facebook, LinkedIn, of course, on Roku, and now Amazon Fire Stick. The more clicks that this thing gets, the more leverage the Parker Media Group can have when they're negotiating things. They can have commercials. They can put the price and stuff. Because
I do need to do a sex tape.
Yeah. Just go ahead and put it out there. Leak it out there.
It's already out there. The first person finds it, let me know. It's out there.
With Jussie Smollett, you and Jussie, he needs a redeeming tour.
No. Journey.
Juicy.
Lori, it didn't happen recently, but it happened. Me and Journey, there's sex tape out there. Y'all find it.
Okay. But you know what I mean. So the more views he gets, the more power. He says, I bring this many eyes to my situation and stuff. And that's what star power is, right? Yeah. It's how many people Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson demands attention, and therefore he can demand a high salary because of those views and stuff. And Juicy was just trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. But that's his name.
I know.
If they call Juicy, I call Juicy.
I'm not calling the grown man Juicy. I'm sorry.
Hey, delicious.
Delicious.
What's your definition of a man? No, never mind. Never mind.
Bro.
I'm gonna leave it alone. I didn't ask that.
Okay, thank you. I'm not calling a grown man Juicy. I'm sorry.
Lori, don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that.
Because if I say it with a smile on my face, or like I'm enjoying it while I'm saying it, if I lick my lips when I say it by accident, ain't juicy.
Right.
It's just not good. So yeah, I don't want to.
You know what? I'm okay with it because I'm getting older now. I just had a birthday back in November, and I don't get all the female attention I used to get. So, like, if I walk by and a gay dude's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Yo, sis, you see it?" I'm gonna take you where I can get it. I'm not.
Oh God!
Buy me drinks.
A compliment is a compliment. Oh boy!
Why am I in this room with these people?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody.
I ain't been here. I'm back.
If you just are tuning in, I can only imagine what the hell you must be thinking
What are you talking about?
Talking about licking your lips, Juicy, and hey, sis, you see it. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, so that was just the thing that we were talking about was, could people try to grab onto what Jussie Smollett did and say, see, that's why we question motives when people do stuff and try to gain publicity. But to your point, Jermaine, we're already kind of in that society anyway, where we already question motives and things like that. But some people, it's easier to believe than others. I will throw that out there. Where
if this was like somewhere else, but it's amazing to me that people in America are like, racism, slaves. I mean, is this a word association game? I mean, what do you want? You know, how do you sit here in America and question that there might be racist stuff going on? Like the whole backlash for the 1619 Project is insane, because it's like, we want them to teach history, not that history. Now, I understand if you talk about like the 50s and 60s and 70s, because some of them people still here. I understand that the people that were yelling and throwing things at small black children as they were integrating schools might not want you talking about that now, as the times have changed, and they don't want you to put their grandma on blast because she's still here. Right. But in this country, with its history, well documented history, how can you say, I don't know if there's racist stuff going on? I just don't. You know, white people believe by some moral standard or some moral gesture that slavery was removed. It was removed through a bloody war. It had to be fought over.
The war was because of states' rights. We just won't tell you what those rights were about.
Well, you know, and that's a funny thing. So if it was about states' rights, they really should get a time machine and go back and tell the Confederacy there, because they put it in Articles of Secession that was the reason that they were. That's what they were. That the main principle is that they believed in slavery.
That was the states' right. That's what they were fighting was. It was their right to own people and black people.
And those states didn't actually believe in states' rights. Let's be specific with that. There were northern states that decided that they wanted to have laws that allowed runaway slaves to become freemen and stuff. They actually sued for the federal government to take away those laws. It was only if you had the right states' rights.
Right.
The wrong states' rights were, you know.
That's different.
But yeah. And so they didn't believe in states' rights. They believed in federal law and stuff when it came to protecting their property and their money and stuff like that.
Right.
With a history like that, for us to turn around now and go, I just don't know if there's a racist. There's not a racist bone in my body. I'm like, it's not. It's in your genes. It's in your DNA. It's in the DNA of this country. And I just don't think that if you look at Jussie Smollett and you look at his situation and stuff, and you go, oh, Jussie, what have you done for civil rights? Jussie hasn't done anything to take us back and stuff. He's a clown. He's an entertainer and stuff. I don't know that many people that were out there, because understandably, if you remember, black people were very, very silent when all this came out. There wasn't, and people were like, oh, it's because he's gay and the black community doesn't want to support him. You know, they're homophobic and stuff like that. We were like, nah, that shit sound fishy, dog. We don't heard fishy tales before.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
That's
that. Honestly, when it first came out, that was the first thing that got me too. Was I'm like, you riding with that story?
Yeah.
It was fishy to begin with. Like,
if
who would do that?
Tells a story to his girl about why he wasn't cheating, and you like, that is some BS. You're not gonna say nothing,
right? Because you're like,
be quiet. And that's what black people do. It was like, oh, we don't heard a fish story like this one. This ain't okay. Well, we ain't gonna say nothing.
I know how this
This was this big.
I hope you don't find out, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
You were there, Jermaine. Oh, no, I wasn't.
No, later's when you say,
Don't touch that.
why'd you say that? Why'd you tell that story?
That's right.
Who's gonna believe that?
Right.
Yeah.
Who's gonna believe
Out
that?
of all the stories to say,
That's the one you rocking with. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just don't.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. For the people who didn't want to believe to begin with, absolutely. But for the people who always have an objective view, not white people, then yeah.
wow.
I had my booster shot. I had my third shot. I had my booster today.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
All right.
I got boosted.
Yeah, I had my booster last week, and the next day it was not good, bro. It was not good.
Really?
First 2 shots, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. This booster, it kind of messed with me a little bit. Yeah, it messed with me.
See, that's weird because
Did it mess with your throat area? Like
because the one Negro thing that my wife did is we both got the J&J. So
so y'all are only half vaxxed.
So we got
We are
all
fully vaxxed.
no,
Y'all not fully vaxxed.
we got the one shot. She got it.
J&J
No, she got the J&J. No problem. I got the J&J, and I was sick as a dog. So I said, okay, here we go again. So she got boosted. So she got boosted. No problem. I got boosted, and I'm like, oh, here we go again, and nothing actually happened. So it
wasn't gonna happen.
My booster had no effect on me, but the first shot did. But the thing is that I got the J&J.
You were sick before.
I got the J&J shot, and then I got boosted with Moderna.
Oh, okay. So you do have a real vaccine in you.
I do have a real.
You got something, right?
I don't.
I have Pfizer.
Yeah, I don't have that 125th Harlem vaccine.
Y'all need to stay away from that J&J. You stay away from that J&J.
Yeah, that's dollar store food. You don't want none of that.
Yeah.
Johnson don't believe in vaccinations. The dude for Johnson got a Moderna shot. Listen.
I'm always the one that's fully. This is the conspiracy theorist over there is always. He can't get a flu shot. Okay, nothing. We're still waiting for that one. But I think this is what you have
sick.
now.
I was sick when I had my flu shot scheduled. You remember there was a time I couldn't walk. There was something called the gouch.
Yeah, I remember that, but you still haven't followed back up.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. So anyway, that'll be on the next show.
That's what you cough with now.
That's what I was thinking, bro. I was like, should I go ahead or because they really already started to come out with next year's flu?
No, it's
right
2022.
now.
It's the 2022 flu right now.
Have y'all seen the shingles commercials?
Yeah,
I've been seeing that. Brad,
It's coming back.
I'm dying watching this commercial because I'm going. You can't even get these folks to take the COVID. You gonna try to sell them the shingles vaccine?
That one.
Hey,
that one and the multi the MS. The new strand of that one.
I'm glad you brought up shingles. So I was having this conversation earlier and stuff, and what it was is that to the best of our knowledge, and that's how we always operate to the best of our knowledge. Because back in the day, what did you do when somebody had chickenpox? Well, it was a contagious disease, the virus and stuff, and so you took your kids and you threw them in there. And fast forward 30-something years, 40-something years, we now know that was probably a bad idea. We just could have took a shot and been a lot better and stuff because of the shingles, the side effects and stuff. So when people are talking about COVID today and the shots and stuff, I know I'm tramping back a little bit on your conversation that I missed out on because I was 20 minutes late. But I hope you don't dock my pay. But we're doing the best we can with the knowledge that we can. Whether it is J&J or it's Moderna or it's Pfizer, whether you're getting boosted, the idea is that we're trying. And we're trying to do what's best with the science that we know today. And the science is being questioned. I just don't want it being questioned by somebody who can't do their kids' homework from last year when everybody was on lockdown. Right. You can't tell me that you didn't help a fourth grader, and now that you can do peer-to-peer reviews on medical journals and stuff, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
Exactly.
That's exactly what he hit on earlier.
What clinical trials you've run. You doing all your research and everything. That's what I was saying, Jermaine. They didn't even do research when they was in school.
Yeah.
Right.
Now they got their PhD from TikTok and YouTube, and now all of a sudden, I need to believe you over somebody that's gone to school and spent their whole life doing this kind of work versus somebody that now all of a sudden, if anybody want to call somebody woke, I mean, how much more woke could that be where you all of a sudden now had the audacity to believe that now you can pull all the answers just out of thin air and you don't have any background knowledge to do so. You're going to try to speak with some level of authority and you don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
If you have been scammed by people talking about they got your brother or sister or somebody in your family member hostage, and you don't went to the Western Union and sent some money and stuff to free your family and stuff, I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm not trying to talk to you.
But yeah,
that has happened to me. That has happened to me.
Damn.
We didn't send one plum nickel,
right?
Yeah, we did get the call. Like what?
Yeah. If you get the call and you like, yeah, put them on the phone. Yeah, you know we don't talk, right? Fuck that.
Yeah.
if you my people, if you have fun on the phone with those phone calls, but if you crying and calling the police, you don't need to talk to me about researching COVID vaccines. You will go for anything. In fact, if you voted for Trump, let me just go ahead and say that I don't want to hear that you do research or that you have some kind of taste for scrutiny.
Yeah, let the evidence speak for it.
Because if you do, then there's been some gaps in some research that
you do not do research at all.
You do not do research.
All right, y'all. So let me change gears because 2022 really came. 2021. There were a lot of things going on. We talked about the Kim Potter verdict last week in relation to Dante Wright, and a little bit of surprise that she ended up, being found guilty of both charges of first degree and second degree manslaughter. And the fact that they put her on trial, they put her on the stand and hoped that her crocodile tears would somehow free her from her sentencing. Now she hasn't been sentenced yet, but she already was found guilty. She is currently in jail right now, waiting the sentencing. No telling how hard they're going to come down because they're going to use a lot of mitigating factors like, trouble with the law in the past, and the kind of job she's had, and probably the PTA going to speak on her behalf, and the Sunday school teacher going to speak on her behalf, and all that stuff. So no telling what the judge will actually come down with. In other news with that, the 3 killers in the Ahmaud Arbery case actually did get sentenced. I listened to this judge start talking before he handed down the sentences. And he broke it down frame by freaking frame, even as to the remorse or lack thereof that these guys showed throughout this whole thing. I honestly think, in addition, he should, in some way or another, throw some kind of citations at some of these defense attorneys for being so horrible. Talking about, when his mom was sitting there talking before they gave the sentence out and said something to the fact of, I wish that we had your toes clean before you went out jogging that day. Almost to say, then maybe you would have came back okay, because the defense attorney made light of the fact that he had dirty toenails. As in their defense of trying to blame Ahmaud Arbery for being dead, for saying that the reason that he was dead is because he just should have went in peacefully, as if he owed them some sense of deference in letting them restrict his movements and things like that, which they had no right to. The fact too that they tried to even invoke a Civil War era law that was still on the books in Georgia, about runaway slaves, a citizen's arrest for basically slaves, and say that's why they did it, which they didn't even mention at the beginning of the trial, but they found that somewhere on the books. And like we just said about, hey, you really gonna ride with that one? They really rode with that. But the judge broke it down. And he basically, honestly, did what I thought he might do, but I was still surprised to hear it, because there was questions all along. Was this jury going to be fair? Because it did not represent the peers of Brunswick, Georgia. where the town is 35% black and you had one person of color on the jury.
Right.
And you just didn't know what kind of trial you're going to get for so long. If this trial had been done in the 90s, I don't think the verdict would have been the same. But what we're coming into now is a little bit different. Thank God it is. But a lot of it was, again, there was footage. Would the verdict have been what it was without the footage? And should having footage become the new standard? That's a very, very dangerous standard because we can't always count on there being footage to invoke justice. So the father and son were convicted of life with no possibility of parole. The guy that followed them, Roddy, life with the possibility of parole. So he will have to serve 30 years before he's eligible for parole. The other ones, they're not ever going to get out.
You know what, B? I don't kill me for this one. I didn't have a problem with the dirty toenails thing. Hear me out.
All right.
He needed to establish. He was trying to establish something. Now, the way he did it and the way he said it, it was horrible, right? It sounded like, oh my God, now you're blaming him. He needed, as a defense attorney, he needed to break the idea that Ahmaud Arbery was an innocent jogger. He was just out for an innocent jog. He didn't have on joggers clothes. He didn't have on joggers foot apparel. He needed to get. That's what he was trying to do. But the way he did it was horrible. It was like
Brad,
it was a local.
Hey Brad,
local,
I seen dudes in the Bronx play ball in Tim's.
Yeah. But most people in today's day and age, they're not going out jogging without socks on, without the proper attire, without it's just not. It just doesn't happen. So I understand what he was trying to do. Now I really hammered him for the whole black preachers thing. We don't need any more black preachers. Yo, he needed to be snatched for that. I mean,
right.
He was horrible. He was a local. He sounded like a local yokel, and but I'm glad that it came out the way it did.
Yeah, no doubt.
The part that the part that I love about the sentencing. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised. I cover these things all the time. Huh?
Why?
Well, I cover these things all the time, and exposing like these elephants of like one-sided judges and or highly opinionated judges, and they are all about victim blaming and things like that. So for me to see this judge, I mean, he was very professional. I title him very professional. Whether he felt a certain way in his heart, we may never know, but he did not let it show. And that's what it's all about. That's what being a judge really is about. We are not supposed to be able to look at you, look at your demeanor, listen to the words that come out your mouth, and be able to decide whether you're leaning to the left or to the right. He called things, just like you said, right down the middle. And I love the part. Go ahead, sir.
No. So I wanted to hit on that point because you make a good point with that. In that, if you look at the different styles between this judge and the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and you go, what the hell? Because judges are elected officials.
Yes, they are.
So there can be a wide range of judges depending on who shows up to vote for these people. So this is my other public service announcement. Get out and vote even in non-presidential terms, because a lot of times judges, county clerks, commissioners, mayors, all these other positions are on the ballot, and they are a wide range of folks. So while it would have been nice to see the same demeanor of a judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, it's going to go from state to state, city to city, municipality to municipality with that. Right. Nice. It was nice to kind of see what a judge should kind of look like from the bench versus that fool that we saw in that Rittenhouse trial. But the reality is that there are probably a whole lot more of the ones in the Rittenhouse trial out there than the one that we saw in Brunswick.
And that's the reality, Brian.
That is reality.
That's the reality. but I believe that, or at least he kind of refounded my faith, and we got people out there doing the right thing, just like we got police officers out there doing the right thing. We're going to expose the ones that are not. We're going to. And back to the statement that you had made earlier about the use of footage, or the need, or the possible need of footage. Right now, that's, in my opinion, that's our saving grace outside of DNA. That is our saving grace. So I hate to admit that truth, but right now, that is what's saving us a whole lot. We just had 3 other cases that was inspired by this one, that 3 other men have been exonerated because of footage and DNA. So if it ain't for those 2, our people would still be sitting up in there 30 and 40 years in jail and truly innocent.
So my question then is, does that set a high bar that if there's no footage, no DNA, and a white guy says I did it, am I done?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it just goes back to know your history, graphic back up. Know your history. History says that
it was a rhetorical question, but yeah.
I mean, but it is like, I mean, you asked a question, but I mean, let's go back to Rodney King, who got murdered on the side of the road with them light sticks and stuff, and still they couldn't convict. Even when they say it, they dismiss it as one off, or they try to add in other factors that might have led to that behavior.
He provoked it. You don't know what happened before the footage started. Oh, he shouldn't have resisted. He should have just complied. And then if he wanted to file a complaint, go to the station and do so in an orderly manner.
Right. And it better be orderly. It better be orderly too, because they got something for you there.
Yeah, some people don't like Sean King, and I really do like Sean King, and I know there's a lot of people that personally attack him and the stuff he's got going on, but I think he's a strong voice for the community and just a good advocate. And he shared something the other day, and it was a story about an off-duty police officer who was drunk in his car, and so what they did was, and they knew that he had a weapon on him, and so they did all these things. I mean, they went through a litany of, hey, well, let's get the sticks out. And just in case he tries to drive off, we can take the tires out and stuff. Let's make sure that we put the body armor and stuff just in case he does open fire and stuff. We're protected. They did a whole bunch of pre-measures before they even got to this guy to try to wake him up and stuff. And then the most important thing was they went and got somebody that knew him when he was being belligerent towards the other officers and stuff to come calm him down. We say it over and over again. It's not that police are not trained. We keep talking about they need more training.
Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you.
They need more empathy. That's the thing. They don't see Black people as humans. Go watch Birth of a Nation. I swear to God. Google it if you've never seen it before. Birth of a Nation. But I bring that for the history thing. If you look at how we're portrayed, that's why. That's the way we're treated. We're treated based on the facade of what it is to be Black in America.
Right.
And so, no, without video evidence, no, it didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. Why would I not trust a LEO? Why would I say that this person who has had run-ins with the law before, not because we over-police the Black community, not because of that, but because they got to be a bad person, right? Not because of all the things that we've done studies on and we know to be true and stuff. It's just that person. So you're always, I mean, think about it like this. And forgive me, the young man that was in Texas that was in his apartment and the white female officer came in and shot him.
Botham
Jean.
Botham Jean. They don't believe her. I mean, even this is crazy. Her story was crazier than Jussie's story.
Yeah, it was.
That's true. That is true.
Her story was way crazier than Jussie's story, and they were just like, "Yeah, that sounds good."
Yeah, that could happen.
That could happen.
Happened to me before.
I can see how you could, get into another house and think it was yours and therefore be offended and start shooting people. I got it. that sounds good. Like I said,
and that's the part that makes you wonder what whenever you hear people say, or the law says, a reasonable, prudent-minded person. Exactly who are we talking about? Who's being reasonable and prudent-minded? Are we looking at through skin color? Are we looking at through culture? Like, who is it fitting? Because mind you, we all supposed to be tried by a jury of our peers. And to what Brian was saying, from the very jump, this thing was framed to be to blame the victim.
Well, I mean, CJ, to
11
your
to
point, and I'm gonna tell you this: I hope I never go on trial because you ain't gonna never find 12 motherfuckers this goddamn fly. So I ain't got no peers. But assuming that you can find that kind of, and it's my dear brother said, 35% black county, one person on the jury. It's not about that. And they'll make your excuses to why it didn't come up that way. And we know because black people complain about all the time that there were some black people.
35 qualified, by the way, guys. 35.
Yeah.
35 of us.
That's like my 10 app.
Yeah. No, that's true. And just for the record, Jermaine, I am a LEO, but that's an astrological sign, not law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
I am definitely an LEO.
Yeah. Because I want a 12. But yeah, to your point, yeah, if that is sad, but we all know, especially if you grew up anywhere in the South and stuff, police departments for years have arrested people, taken them around the block and beat them up, and before they took them to jail. Yeah, that's like a thing. Like they show bruises and stuff when they show up to the jail that they didn't have when they were arrested and stuff. And if you can overlook that kind of stuff, the physical evidence in front of you, you'll overlook just about anything. And again, it's because we're animals. I'm telling you, 1920 is Birth of a Nation. Just Google Birth of a Nation, and you don't even have to watch the film. I'm sure there'll be a whole litany of things that tell you about it. And what's important is that film that I'm referring to is what re-energized the KKK in the 1900s and stuff, and popularized that movement. We have the KKK is a terrorist organization by every definition of terrorist organization, and they have millions of members in the United States.
Are you sure you want to say that? Because you may have to go to Tucker Carlson and then apologize and grovel.
That's funny. That's funny.
Or you know what? I don't want to compare you to Ted Cruz. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have compared you to Ted Cruz.
I was about to say, somebody say something about my wife. We gonna knock knuckles.
Yeah, not Ted Cruz. You say you call my wife ugly and say my dad helped kill JFK, then I'm gonna phone bank for you for your campaign.
Oh wow!
And throw your kids under the bus and say the reason that you left your state in an emergency was because your kids wanted to go to Cancun and you were just trying to be a good dad.
Yeah, now that might happen to Saturday in North Carolina, but
the very definition of a beta male.
But if there was a black organization, remember when the Panthers and any other black organization has ever tried to raise their ranks and stuff, the government was there to sweep in and shut it down. So how has the KKK survived for so long?
Because it's supported by.
There you go.
All right, I'm done for today.
Like I say, we do this weekly, bro. We do this weekly. We do this. We expose those elephants.
Yeah, that's it right there. Oh yeah, CJ, how is your show going? Are you currently doing anything right now?
It's going very well. Like I said, we happened to just coordinate this one. This was not on purpose, Ellie Watchers. This is all Brian. I specifically covered what this judge was talking about, and I shared it and I broke it down. Just like the Kim Potter, and I'm going to be also following the sentencing of the female right now. I can't think of her name.
Kim Potter.
But and I'm going to break that down as well.
Okay.
And guys, please, whenever you guys see my show, I'm on. I air it Tuesdays at 7. Join in. It's live. I do have some recordings and stuff out there, but I would love to go live because I'm all encompassing, and it's just like you. We don't necessarily have to agree, but of course, I'm going to be right always because it's my platform. But but nah, I still embrace people's thoughts in their ideas and stuff. But if you're gonna say something, try to be factual with it. Try to be, unless you are just truly sharing your opinion. But my job is to expose these elephants that are out here that people be like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, you do, and it's right here.
Well, listen, I appreciate y'all for coming back in and everything for new 2022, and the show has been doing really well, and I'm seeing even more and more streams and more countries tuning in, which is just awesome to see. It's one thing to get people from the U.S. to tune in, but when I'm seeing stuff from India and Peru and Belize and all of that, that's just amazing to me. So I just keep getting more and more tickled by just the different places people are kind of tuning in to watch content that's not tied to a cable, but something that they can stream and things like that. So thank y'all for, adding to that conversation and the things that you do. Again, if you'd like to be a panelist on the show, please just send me a message. We'll love to have you on. The only caveat I ever say is that I don't do the QAnon folks because I'd rather just sit there and cut myself with a bunch of razors, and I'd be more productive doing that. And if I had to listen to a QAnon person long enough, I may end up with the same result anyway, quite frankly. But please let us know if you'd like to join, or always check out the content. More importantly, like, share, and subscribe. That's how we do this. We do this because people do view. People have their own opinions. We'd love to hear it. We talk about a lot of different things. Some of the things are always interconnected, whether it's political or whether it's just human nature issues and things like that. So we always appreciate you joining. Finally, I'd just like to say, listen, y'all, 2022 going to be that year where you have to get out and try to make a difference. Stop sitting on the sidelines. Stop watching what's going on. Get interjected into the game. There are going to be a lot of things happening this year, whether it's elections are going on, there's going to be midterms, there's going to be decisions to be made. There's a lot of suppression laws out there. There's a lot of gerrymandering and redistricting that's going on. Make sure you know ahead of time where your district is. Don't assume that it was the same place as even last week. It may have changed. Make sure that you are on the rolls, that you have not been purged. There are going to be a lot of attempts this year to suppress your vote, and we're going to have to fight more than ever to get over that hump if we want to continue on the momentum that we have. We already see that a 50-50 Senate is not going to get things done. So we're going to have to get it to a 60-40 or 62-38. We cannot rely on a West Virginia senator. We can't always rely on an Arizona senator. There may be some moderates that may be a little shaky too. I'm calling out you, Montana. I'm calling out you, Virginia. I'm calling out you, Delaware. The other two get all the play, but there's some other ones back there too that ain't so hot about filibuster reform either. But if they got to do it, they'll do it. But they don't want to do it. So keep that in mind as we go into this year, y'all. That there's going to be a lot of issues that come up. We're definitely going to talk about it. I'm even going to try to have some local political folks on, whether it's Charlotte, Concord, that kind of area too, just talking about what's going on. We'd definitely love to reach out to even some folks up in New York and bring them on. If you can get AOC or Jamal Bowman, Brad, would appreciate that. Yeah. I know you can make it happen. But yeah, or if you can get Chuck Schumer, that would be good too. Because
I can't mess. I can't help you with Chuck, but I can get the other two.
I would really love to press Chuck on some. I got some burning questions for Chuck because Chuck just seems, like he ain't really doing it for me. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank y'all so much, Laura. You got everything right. You ready to do this? Okay. I'm making sure now. Now listen, y'all. If y'all see the credits at the end, I done changed the production credits up a little bit because my helper has actually been helping me. So I changed it up a little bit. So
I got to give you an up-to-date picture too. By the way, everybody on there,
we asked for it. Asked for headshots and stuff. So yeah, Brad's on there. Nice shot.
And I like that, by the way.
Yeah, very astute.
I got a suit and tie for you.
Okay then. All right. So, but we will see y'all next week. Until then, head to head. Take care. See y'all. Thanks, Laura.
Okay.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket.